Alright, YouTube folks, feel free to skip ahead a little bit. I'm going to do some quick sound check stuff. I've changed some settings. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm going to give everyone just a minute to get in here. I'm going to start talking at 8. I started a couple of minutes early to make sure everything was correct with my audio. So I made a couple of changes, so now I should be able to hear my Moto sounds, and you should not be able to hear my Moto sounds. That was something that was requested, and I figured out a way for me to keep it and you to not hear it. So unless the microphone picks it up, you should not be hearing my Moto sounds, and it doesn't seem like it is. So that's a win for everyone involved, I think. So while I'm waiting for people to get in here, I just want to take a minute to talk about how good Brightling is one more time. So last night I was playing a different build of Nick Fit. Let's get the main deck on screen. So I was playing this last night, and I had an Inferno Titan, and my opponent had a Brightling. Now, Inferno Titan technically got through for some damage for a little while there, but because I had rammed my opponent out to so many planes with Veteran Explorer, my opponent was able to do so many absurd things with Brightling. And then the Brightling picked up a Batterskull, and it was just absolutely disgusting. So their Brightling ended up holding back like 5 of my creatures, and I wasn't able to do anything about it for quite some time. It was really pretty neat. Last night's Nick Fit video was pretty special, including shenanigans like getting a kill by repeatedly putting Inferno Titan into play so that I could kill through an ensnaring bridge. It was fun. I'm hoping to do some similarly ridiculous stuff today. Alright. Let's make sure I can get the entire deck on screen here. And then let's do a deck tech. Deck on screen. Alright. Looks good. Good morning, everyone. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, and today we are going to be playing some Nick Fit once again. Today's version is a little bit different, though. Today's version focuses around Arena Rector. So Arena Rector is one of the new cards from Battlebond, and Battlebond has really been making a splash in Legacy, and I want to see if this is the real deal. So Arena Rector is very similar to Academy Rector. When those cards die, they get to search up a certain type of card. And in the past, Academy Rector has been used to put ridiculous enchantments like Overwhelming Splendor, or Curse of Death's Hold, or Sandworm Convergence into play. With Arena Rector, though, you get a Planeswalker. So let's take a look at the Planeswalker package that I've got going on in this deck. I believe there's 5. Yes. So this at first looks like a really weird set of Planeswalkers, but it kind of makes sense. So Ugin is the fatty of all fatties, and against most of your fair decks, this is what you would fetch up with Arena Rector. You know, its plus will pretty much always kill the creature, its minus wipes the board, and if you get to that minus 10, holy cow. It also has 7 starting loyalty and goes up to 9 on the first turn, presumably. So it's very hard to deal with. There's also Elspeth's Sun Champion, which can plus to make 3 blockers, or 3 threats, it can minus to board wipe, at least the big stuff. But most of the time the stuff in Legacy is small, so that side of the equation is less good. But against things like Eldrazi, that can get rid of, Reality Smashers, Endbringers, Thought-Knot Seers, that sort of stuff. And it's a pretty quick clock, because, like, the first turn you get to attack with the soldiers, it's 3, then it's 6, then it's 9, and then after that, like, you just ultimate and your opponent dies. So that's not bad. Getting of the Trials probably looks weird to people, and the reason we're playing this is actually for the emblem. If you do the 0 emblem ability, as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. Against decks like Storm, that can be really, really hard to beat. Not unbeatable, but very, very difficult. And then you have a couple other, like, utility cards. Like, Liliana the Last Hope is absurd against decks like Death and Taxes that rely on small creatures, and its ultimate emblem is disgusting. Gideon and Liliana have the merits that they're just, like, castable Planeswalkers on their own as well. And then you have the mid-range Planeswalker, Nissa, which you can plus to just dome your opponent for 5. It's a recursion card in addition to Eternal Witness, because you can just -3 to get something that you need back. And the emblem's pretty good if you flood out, and you can do the emblem as soon as the turn after it comes into play. So it's not one of my favorite cards that's in the deck here, but it is relatively powerful. So the sort of overall Nick Fit game plan is to ramp with Veteran Explorer, and you sacrifice it with Cabal Therapy, or this version has Phyrexian Tower, which lets you sacrifice a creature for black, which can ramp you into some of this top-end stuff very, very quickly. So, like, if you play, like, Veteran Explorer turn 1 and sack it to Tower turn 2, so Tower gets you 2 mana, then you have your 1 land, then you get 2 more lands, so that means you can get to 5 mana on turn 2. So, like, Thragtusk, Sigarda, Nissa, like, Lily, Gideon, Arena Rector, Deed for 2. Those are all viable turn 2 plays. And that's kind of insane. This is sort of a grindy deck with, like, the Tireless Trackers and Eternal Witness, Deeds, Arena Rectors, all these Planeswalkers. We should be able to grind through a lot of stuff. In Game 1, the combo matchup maybe isn't the greatest. So we have, like, some Thoughtseizes and Lost Legacy in the sideboard. So for anyone who doesn't know Lost Legacy, you choose a non-artifact, non-land card, and you search their graveyard, hand, and library for those cards and exile them. Then we have Leyline and Helm for some of the combo matchups, Bridge to stop things like Sneak and Show, Teague as a Green Sun Zenith target for post-sideboard games, Carpet of Flowers to ramp out faster versus your blue decks, and Rex Age is kind of a catch-all for decks like Death and Taxes. I think that's all I want to say. Let's just kind of get into some games and see where we go. The record there doesn't reflect it, but I went 3-2 last night. I just lost my internet connection in the middle of one of the games, and accordingly lost one game that I had the win for. I just timed out while I was trying to reconnect. I'm excited to try out this Arena Rector. I don't think I've played against this card yet, so I haven't gotten to see, like, how consistent it is in doing its thing. So I'm going to be mucking with my audio settings for a little while. So this is a turn 2 Nissa Vital Force, right? Turn 1 uncounterable Veteran Explorer. Turn 2, sack, make 2 mana. 3 mana. Oh, alright, so this is a keep. Yeah. So this is turn 2 Nissa. So I've got a choice this turn. It's kind of interesting. If I use the Cavern to play Veteran Explorer, then in order to turn 2 Nissa, I have to get Forest off of the Veteran Explorer, which I think is fine. I have a black-white land. I do. So I kind of want to Thoughtseize first. That way I know what disruption I need to play around. But if I do that, this land could get stifled. I could also just, like, slow down a little bit and just, like, not go ham this turn. And just, like, sack Veteran Explorer for black. Fetch, like, Forest Plains. I guess I need to kind of be worried about Stifle. I don't want to sack Veteran Explorer to Tower and then get that stifled. I want to see if I can get this stifled instead. Yes, excellent. Spell Snare. Okay. Oh, please don't have another stifle. Fudge. It's a shame I couldn't Thoughtseize first. Wow. That's rough. I think I'm going to take the Tarmogoyf because if that thing gets in play, I don't think I can possibly win. So that'll leave him with Stifle and Spell Snare. Ugh. Alright, we just got Delvered this hand. So, like, I know my opponent doesn't have green. I'm aware of that fact, but I'm taking between 4 and 6 damage a turn from the Delvers anyway. So if I just, like, Swords to Plowshare a Delver, then, like, I'd have to have, like, Ewit Swords to Plowshares as a follow-up. So I don't, yeah. Blech. Alright, so how do I want to do this? Carpet's pretty good. And I'd consider the Deluges and the Bridges. Don't really want to Thoughtseize against Delver. Doesn't seem like the best prospect. Similarly, I don't know that I want Library. And most of the rest of the cards seem pretty reasonable. Maybe I'll trim like one piece of fat. This is more for like grindy mid-range matchups that can't really pressure its loyalty. Morning, Static Ripped. So I only need to make one more cut since this is a 61 card deck. Maybe it's one Rector or one Therapy. No, I think the therapies are too important since I have like both of these that need to be sacked. And go down one Tracker. I think I want Miri's Guile on the play, but not on the draw. Got it. I think this just has to get Force of Willed. Otherwise, I get such insane value. So for people not used to playing with Cabal Therapy, you name the cards that matter the most if your opponent has them. Alright, so exile Spell Snare, use Force of Will. So, like, you know, you can say, like, oh, that's a really good hit, but, like, what do I care about with this hand? I care about Veteran Explorer's trigger getting stifled. That's, like, the thing that hurts me the most if it actually happens. So I named that. a very good draw from my opponent. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. Alright, so the bridge doesn't do anything quite yet, but we're very close to it being insane. Like, if I hit another land, I go land, cast Arena Rector, sack it to Cabal Therapy, get a Planeswalker, and then hide behind the bridge. Probably get Elspeth. Alright, let's see if my opponent's last unknown card is a Stifle to just, like, get me. No, it isn't. Awesome. Skabunkler, thank you very much for subscribing. I appreciate your support. I hope you're enjoying this content. Ooh, man. Alright, Cabal Therapy. Target you. Sacrifice Arena Rector. Arena Rock. Does it look like Christopher Walken? Oh, I can kind of see that. Is Elspeth Sun's Champion and Ensnaring Bridge a good combo? Asking for a friend. Yeah! So on the draw, I don't really think I want the Miri's Guile. Is there something I'd like better? I can just play another Tracker as something that trades with a Goose. So, this hand doesn't explicitly do anything, but I can shred my opponent's hand with Therapy pretty easily. I don't even know that I want a Therapy on turn 1. I think I'm just going to play a land and pass. Not open myself up to Stifle. So if I fetch here, my opponent has Stifle. They stifle my land, then on my turn I fetch and Cabal Therapy them, and then on the next turn I Abrupt Decay this Delver. So that would be an acceptable trade in my mind. Winter Orb. Okay. Opponent probably doesn't know that, but this Ancient Grudge not gonna do work. They're probably confused about what I'm doing. So they opted to not play the Winter Orb. Oh, I regret playing that land. We should have played Verdant Catacombs. So I can fetch Forest with that, and then fetch... Oh, I just don't have to fetch right now. That's the answer. Oh, grudges for Parage. Sure. Thank you. Yeah. Poor sequencing and minor misplays happen when you are not used to playing a deck. I'm not going to get punished for it because I can just, like, wait a turn to fetch. Alright. Opponent either has a land or another creature. They are not accepting that, whatever it is. Alright, so how do I want to do the stifle check? If I fetch with this one first and it gets stifled, I lose the ability to cast this. And that's fine because I can still decay. So I'll stifle check with this land. And I think I'm just going to pass the turn. That way if my opponent has a counterspell, I'll make them use their mana on their turn. And I'll deal with this Delver in the upkeep. I'll see if I can get any additional information off the Delver flip first, though. I'm just gonna go ahead and answer that. Alright, lots of things here could answer this deed. But I think that's fine. Nope, it just sticks. So the question now is, like, how long am I willing to wait on blowing the deed? Because the longer I wait, the higher chance there is that my opponent just draws a stifle. So I do kind of think that it's worth blowing deed early to not get stifled. Because I have, like, Decay and Swords to Plowshares for other threats, but the Goose is one that's kind of slippery, and it's harder for me to answer than everything else. I wonder if I wait on this bridge, would my opponent brainstorm away Grudge given the opportunity? Conversely, if I play out the bridge, I take that Grudge from their hand and they can't brainstorm it into something I care about more. Because if we just keep going on with a 1-for-1 resource trade, I'd probably come out pretty far ahead in the long game. And yeah, I'm also not getting Hellbent like anytime soon. Like, I can't cast these. Yeah, I will throw my bridge into that Ancient Grudge. Like, about the only other thing I could have done there was, like, wait till I get a creature in play, Cabal Therapy away the Grudge, but then, like, it's still in the graveyard, it still has flashback. Alright. So I get second Forest and second Plains here. What makes sense for my opponent to have? I think Daze. That's a card that doesn't really do anything against what I've got going on here. And I might want to, like, just tap out to try to jam Elspeth next turn. So let's name it Daze. Alright, so they have Force and Bolt. So now they have Hardcast Force. Unfortunately, I can't really do two different plays this turn. How many basics do I have in this list? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 2 basics left in the deck. So I could Green Sun for 1, get a Veteran Explorer, and then ramp myself out 2 more. Would they bolt the Veteran Explorer? Would they just, like, let it chump block? Or I can play, like, E-Wit, try to get back Deed, and they'd force that. So I essentially want this force to be used this turn, and I want to throw away sort of my least good card to force. I think this is my best line. Which basics are left? Swamp and Forest. Swamp and Forest. So if my opponent lets this resolve, I can, like, sack to Cabal Therapy, get either the Force of Will or the Bolt, and then play E-Wit this turn. This is an interesting spot for my opponent. Because, like, they know exactly what's coming, but they also can see that I have this Cabal Therapy. So if they don't force this, I get either the Force or the Bolt with the Cabal Therapy on the flashback. Yeah, so when I was playing the Sneak Fit version last night, I spent way more time thinking than I thought I was going to. Okay. So they let it happen. So I get forest and swamp. So now I'll take their force of will. So they have Ponder and Lightning Bolt. Guess I can just get back the deed. If my opponent bolts the Witness, I'll Swords to Plowshares it in response. Yeah, the ability to just keep track of your opponent's hand on Moto now is so nice. You used to have to, like, write down whatever you saw, but now that, like, the revealed card zone is working properly, it's nice. It works for almost everything. There's a couple random cards that you play that it doesn't work for still, but it's more consistently working now than it used to. Alright, so they have Lightning Bolt X in their hand. Alright, so I can go... They have one unknown card. What is it? So what can I play around? I probably don't need to jam Elspeth this turn because that won't play around Spell Pierce. If I play Deed, that's 3 mana. If they have a Spell Pierce, that doesn't matter. So I can play Deed and hold up Abrupt Decay. That's probably pretty good. Alright. Is that last card Stifle? No, it is Lightning Bolt. I don't know why they so aggressively aimed that bolt at me, unless they just, like, know they have another bolt on top. Alright. Okay, so that was no shuffle on Ponder, so my opponent did know that was happening. Alright, I accept. It's like that sort of thing happens. I drew a little bit too much of the clunk of my deck that game, but I felt like I was in a very good position the whole time, so that matchup's probably fine. Well, I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to have to think about how I want to play this hand. I can like slow this down a little bit and Thoughtseize on 1. Then I can Veteran Explorer on 2, sack it to Tower, get 2 lands, using the black, Cabal Therapy my opponent, and then play Scavenging Ooze, and then untap with a big green Sun Zenith the following turn. I think that's the way I want to do this. This is a really good hand. God, I wish I would have just Cabal Therapy to the Dark and named Brainstorm. I'm going to take this Stifle. It's really good against my hand. The rest I can hopefully play around. I hope my opponent just, like, plays Tropical Island Delver. Fuck. Holy shit, they didn't Wasteland me. My god. That means Daze is off. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. So I cast Veteran Explorer, and I know their exact hand. I cast Veteran Explorer, then I sack it to the tower, and then I'll use one of the black mana to Cabal Therapy, name Brainstorm. Oh, this is going to be disgusting. And I need to not play the tower before I play the Veteran Explorer. I do not understand my opponent's turn. Alright. So I think I want to get a forest and a swamp, so I can both Cabal Therapy and Lily Last Hope this turn. Oh wait, can I just keep going? I could also just, like, Green Sun for 1, get a second Veteran Explorer, So that would be these 2 mana. Oh, I can keep going. Then get Swamp Plains and cast Lily Last Hope. Holy shit. This is awesome, guys. So I can play around this Daze really easily. I don't care about the Delver. I can kill that with Lily. So I am just going to name Thought Scour so that they don't get the random cantrip. And I'm just going to plus this to keep this out of Lightning Bolt range. And we're good. Yeah, it's turn 2. I have 6 lands in play and a Planeswalker. And I Cabal Therapy my opponent 3 times. What do you think you're dazing, opponent? Not this Green Sun. That's for sure. Alright, so what do I Green Sun for? I don't really want to, like, tap out for Green Sun. Like, because I know the Daze is there, so I don't want to go for 5 for Thragtusk. No, I don't want to concede this match. Yeah, that felt dirty. So I could just, like, Green Sun for E-Wit, get back Thoughtseize away the Delver. That's probably fine. Alright, you want to get Tracker? Okay, that's 100% fair. I'm not going to play the Ooze into the Daze that I know about. You'd like to Wasteland now. Sure, buddy. You bet. Also, sure. And not playing this Delver. Lol. Oh man, I can use this Lily to kill my Veteran Explorer and get 2 more lands. Confirmed best Legacy deck. I get 2 more clues. This is beautiful. This is way better than Sneak Fit, unquestionably. I can just like keep drawing cards. I can go get a Sigarda. It doesn't even like matter what I do. Sigarda will just put them dead next turn. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could have 2 open, so I could pay for a Spell Pierce, but not a Daze. Yeah, whatever. JD, thank you for the bits. This is like one of the best and most interesting and fun games of Legacy I've played in a while. I'm so glad Deathrite Shaman is dead. Clearly, he just didn't want me to ultimate the Liliana. You know. Everything else that was happening was fine, but the Liliana was too much. Alright. So I liked Carpet, Bridge, and Deluge before. And I went, I think, Library out, Nissa out, Thoughtseize is out, and then I trimmed one other random card. I don't remember what it was. I might have trimmed like one tracker before. Yeah, it was play, draw, Guile versus tracker. That's what I did. Yeah, so on the draw, I like having another body that can trade. On the play, I'll consider Guile instead. Like it just helps fix draws. This hand's really good if this doesn't get stifled. So I can consider getting a Savannah here. If I get Savannah, then like hard casting the Gideon if Carpet of Flowers doesn't resolve is better. But I think it's better to just get Forest because like my hand's pretty good. Like even if the Carpet doesn't resolve, I still have like Decay for the Delver. I don't think I want to get Wastelanded out of this game. Because something like Days Wasteland would just destroy me if I played, if I fetched Savannah. Oh wow, Carpet resolves. Oh man, Tarfire's still in your deck post-board. Good times for Phil. I think I'm just going to Decay the Delver this turn. Thanks for stopping by, Nick. Ah, yes. Now you'll fetch and give me more mana. This pause might be indicative of my opponent having another Brainstorm. Well, opponent, your hand doesn't do a lot of things. So I think I'll just return the Decay. And my opponent should remove my Witness right here with this trigger on the stack, because otherwise this sweet thing's gonna happen. Or actually, do I just want to save the Cabal Therapy for Arena Rector? Like, if I can Cabal Therapy right now and, like, guaranteed get a 2-for-1 by naming Tarfire, or forcing my opponent to fetch and Tarfire me once. I'm pretty much guaranteed to resolve Arena Rector next turn, so I'm just gonna, like, let it go. I don't really care about any of those cards right now. Oh, the other is revealed off of Delver, okay. Thank you. I'm going to use it in my second main phase. So my opponent could have drawn Force to pair with Flusterstorm. Ooh. Sure, you can Flusterstorm that. No, I'm not going to be playing in Philly this weekend. I was invited to be on a team, but I just didn't. I've been gone for 3 weeks. I spent the last 3 weeks at Latin Academy, and I just haven't been home very much. So, like, Bob Huang messaged me yesterday asking if I wanted to go to Philly because he probably wasn't going to be able to make it, and he needed a legacy player for his team. And I thought about it for a minute. I was like, I can't do it. I need a little bit of time at home. I don't think I can take like Friday as a travel day, Saturday and Sunday is playing, and then like either get home really late Sunday or come back Monday morning. I didn't think I had it in me. So instead, I'm going to take like a small trip to Greensboro, which is like 2 hours away, instead of like 4 or 5 hours, and I'm just going to like play a bunch of Japanese rhythm games with a couple of friends. More low key. That was one of the like most absurd opening hands of Magic I've ever had. That turn 2 was crazy. This is a little awkward, but I'm gonna keep this. If I draw a black source, this hand is gonna become pretty silly. Okay, this is a pretty good matchup for the good old Nick Bit deck. Because Veteran Explorer blocks pretty well. Just throwing it out there. So Echo, I meant low key in terms of stress. Good luck with your thought knots here, opponent. Naming the Cabal Therapy that I couldn't cast. I accept. What do I want to expose to Wasteland? Probably Caracas. Actually, if I draw a double black, do I have any double blacks? I have one double black. I could get Swamp anyway. Yeah, like a combined 4 hours of travel over the weekend to go like to Greensboro and back is fine. Like, I totally accept that. So I can just Thought Seize my opponent here and play a tracker, or I can go tracker and get 2 clues. So my opponent could have like a Reality Smasher that they could play that they couldn't have played this turn. But truth be told, I don't really care all that much about a Reality Smasher. These trackers are going to get like way out of Eldrazi range quickly. Yeah, I think I don't care about a Smasher. I think I just play like this Tireless Tracker. Oh shit, I just could have done both. No, I couldn't have done gotten the clues as well. Because the black source is already in play. Okay. Sure. You can Thought Not away that Nissa. That's fine. I still have these Tireless Trackers. They're gonna get huge. Well, it's not like this is the best Ugin matchup, but it's still fine. Come on, land. Well, that's still pretty good. Actually, that might just be insane. So I don't know the hand yet, so I'll just guess something really big. Then I flashback with Veteran Explorer, actually get what's in their hand, get 2 more lands, Thought Seize them, crack some clues, herpa-derpa-derpa-derp. Deck's great. Alright. So, what am I naming? Even though it's only a 1-of, I should probably just, like, name Olamog the Ceaseless Hunger. I don't really care about most of my opponent's cards. So I should just name something like Ugin or Olamog. Yes! Oh my god. Do I want to Thoughtseize that Spirit Guide? Mostly on principle, yes. That was glorious. Oh, man. This deck is really fun. Alright. So I want Thoughtseize. I probably want Teague still. Like, it shuts off all his Dust and Ugin on the other side of the battlefield, and that's pretty great. And I'll consider these cards as well. Alright, so what is bad? Let's figure that out. This isn't a Scavenging Ooze matchup. Abrupt Decay isn't amazing. It can it can tag the Monolith and map, but it doesn't deal with the cards that actually win the game. It can't hit Dynamo. Lost Legacy for Olamog might be too much. This isn't really a Lily Last Hope matchup. Just doesn't really need to be an Ugin matchup. Just fetching Elspeth is probably going to be better. Alright, boarding here is kind of tricky, I've got to admit. So I guess I get rid of the decays because I'm trying to fight them with hand disruption instead. And then I guess I can trim some of my selection. Like the Mirror's Guile can just go. Shoot. Is it Gideon? Is it Library? Probably not Library, but I don't have enough time to think. Okay, what does this hand do? I can turn one Thoughtseize, but then I don't actually have green mana to cast the Green Sun. I don't know that I can keep a hand that doesn't have green mana. I think this is a mulligan. Like one piece of disruption that's not going to be particularly fat, yeah. Alright, this hand got, like, really good all of a sudden. I came up with a reason why I should probably keep the decays in the deck. But it's fine. So JD, the Legacy Premier League will be on tomorrow night starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will be on Julian's channel, which is It's Julian. I have a link to all of the Legacy Premier League information below the stream if you are interested in checking that out. Ooh, that's pretty good. But it did force my opponent to use their monolith, so I actually am okay with that trade, because I just have a big dumb fatty I can cast in a couple of turns. It's gonna be really fun. So I think tomorrow night is Menguchi, Pleasant Kenobi, Noah Walker. I forget who else. Yeah, Tracker is great. I love Tracker. The ramp deck is ramping up to something? What? There's a Chalice on 1, so I am not successfully playing Veteran Explorer into Cabal Therapy here. No Endbringer, so it's things like All Is Dust and Ugin instead. Do I want to ramp 2 more lands? No, I think I want to get Teague. This feels like a Teague turn to me. Play Verdant, fetch. Pay 3 mana, get Teague. And crack a clue. Yeah, another Warping Whale is definitely in the realm of possibility. So Teague plays around both Ugin and All Is Dust, whereas Rexage on Monolith... Maybe Rexage on Monolith would have been better. But then I could have just gotten All Is Dust with, like, land and All Is Dust, or Ugin with Soul Land. Or not Ugin. Alright, so I'm currently 2-1, and the one that I lost was really, really close, and I felt very good about it. This deck feels good. This is a mulligan. I can't really do anything with this hand. With a green source, this hand is amazing. I think I am going to risk it for the biscuit. I did put one of those on the bottom, and it's just back to hang out. I don't think I'm going to do anything on my turn, so I'm just going to play my Swords to Plowshares around a Daze. I don't really know what my opponent's doing, but they're probably Reanimator, if I were to guess. Actually, the Trop's a little weird. Maybe not Reanimator. Maybe just a bug mid-range deck. I don't know that I've ever seen JVP in Food Chain, but I'm not going to discount that idea. I feel like my opponent would have played a creature by now if they were Food Chain. I'm probably pretty far off from ever casting this Ugin. So that's my least valuable card. Let's get rid of that. This will actually be really good if it gets into play. So what's my next discard? Is it Miri's Guile? I think my next discard is Miri's Guile. Feel like I'm not really going to have time to use that card one way or another. If I draw another land, I'd rather cast either Arena Rector or Gideon over the Guile. This is bad. Actually, maybe I'm not dead. If my opponent doesn't minus the Lily this turn and they just like plus one more time, I could like spike a forest, play Veteran Explorer, sack it to tower, then cast Sigarda. Alright, so my opponent is playing a bug mid-range control deck. Man, this whole game, just hitting another land would have put me in an insane position. I wonder if my opponent will actually separate these out now. So I will sacrifice one land and keep 2 lands. Rough. I should have just kept that in hand and discarded it to Lily. What was I thinking? Okay, now that they've got that force as well, that's the point where I'm actually dead. Because they have Force Brainstorm, and I'm going to lose another card. Alright, alright. Alright, so Carpet seems good. Thoughtseize probably seems good to just like punch a hole. That's probably about all that I want. Actually, I might not sideboard very much at all here. I might just like sideboard the carpets. I don't think I want to shave the Veteran Explorers because they showed me Tarmogoyf, and just like having a good chump blocker is fine. It'll also keep Bobs from attacking. I don't really know what to cut. Like, I pretty much like all of my cards, but I know I want these carpets. Maybe the Deluge isn't the greatest. Like, they're kind of a value-oriented deck. And then maybe I trim... I don't know what I trim. Maybe just like. Maybe since they're value oriented, I don't go heavy on the discard. That's probably fine. I think plan A was very good against them, and it would have been stellar had my opponent not, had I not. If I drew a green source, I would have felt fine against this deck. It's basically what I'm getting at here. So I can just Therapy Blind and like name Force, so that next turn I can Green Sun and Therapy, followed by Thoughtseize. Or I can just like slow down a turn and play Thoughtseize on 1 to guarantee the hits, which might just be better, in all honesty. Then I can more naturally play around Daze anyway. I think I'm going to go slow. God, that's a good hand. I probably need to take IOK, unfortunately. Because my hand is so centered around my Green Sun Zenith, it's like I have no other gas other than that. So I probably need to take this, and then I can use my Therapy to get rid of either Bob or Library. But this hand is very good. Alternatively, I can just take the Ponder and hope that they get stuck on lands and they can't play all of the 2-drops, and just like give up my Green Sun. I don't hate that. I don't have a lot going on, but that might be my best chance of winning this one. This is a really hard hand to pick apart with discard since it's so redundant. Gamble. I think it's really close between IOK and the Ponder. Hell yeah. Let us fight the library fight. You miss a land drop, you're in super trouble. Ooh, no natural land drop. And a shuffle? No land. Paid off. So I'll get their library. Wow. And I'll use Swords to Plowshares to get rid of Bob if they play Bob. I don't think I need to just shuffle away that forest just yet. So I'm going to play this out so that if they play Bob, I can use my mana efficiently. I mean, I don't need to mana screw them in the long term. I needed them to stumble for a couple of turns so that I could draw out of my mediocre hand. And they're not getting a shuffle with this Brainstorm. So I don't really need either of these cards, so I'll just put those back. This will be a little annoying if my opponent has a Daze, but I would accept it so that I can try to get my value out of the tracker. And if the Tireless Tracker gets counter and my opponent gets set back a land drop, that means I just like nug him for 4 with Gideon and just like make another land drop. I have Library on board. They have nothing on board. Yeah, that's fine. Your Inquisition misses, sir. Am I willing to go to 3 life? Am I willing to go to 3 life? If I do, I plow Jace, play Scavenging Ooze, grow it by 1. That might be greedy. But it is capitalizing on a window my opponent's given me. So the deed 100% can go back. I don't need that right now. I'm doing it. the good old cycle draw card. I'm not really in a spot where I want to deed. Alright, my opponent is done with me. Alright, I'm gonna take a minute and run to the bathroom. This hand is a little action light, and Thoughtseize would kind of mess me up. But I don't think I'm gonna throw it back. Yeah. I would love to draw an answer Bob right now. Well, it's not an answer Bob, but it's pretty good. Now Bob can't attack. Thoughtseize is annoying. Now I'm gonna lose my Gideon. Or maybe the Arena Rector. We'll see. This deck is decent, I guess. Double Leovold. So I can take my 2-for-1 right now by sacking the Veteran Explorer, or I can wait one turn and jam Arena Rector for Ugin. No, it wouldn't be one turn because of Wasteland. It'd be 2 turns. I think that's too long of a window, so I think I'd like to attack with Explorer, then sack it, get my 2 lands, get both of their Leovolds, and play the Rector this turn. The Him is another problem as well, so I think that means I just can't wait. It's too risky. So this will get me a swamp and a forest. Let's name Leovold. Alright. So left with a him and a wasteland. And I have one annoying boy in play. Hey, do you think they're gonna Lily Last Hope and plus in my Arena Rector? What do you think? Yeah, they can him me and get both of these lands. They also might just like Lily minus get back their Leovold. So now I can play Caracas, which is cool. We'll get rid of that Bob. And now we'll just wait around for drawing something to do, or finding a way to kill Arena Rector. Lily minus? Lily minus? Huh? Huh? He did not Lily minus. What does Eternal Witness do? Oh man, it has to just get a land. It's a little disappointing. Because they don't have additional green to like cast a Veteran Explorer. I think I want to take the marginal thinning and get a fetch. Fetch? Okay. I could alternatively not crack it for tracker purposes, which is probably better. So I need like a therapy or a tower so I can get Rector, get Ugin, exile those lilies, and take over this game. Vegas card. I don't know that Elspeth will beat the Lily Last Hope emblem. Alright. So I think I need to draw something that kills my Rector this turn, or I'm going to lose the game. So I'm going to thin by 2 here. Because if this ultimates... Well, actually, that's interesting. Because if this ultimates, I sacrifice my Rector. And then I get Ugin. Huh. Huh. My creature has negative power. I'm gonna thin. Oh, you're right. I did miss a point. Well, all right. Okay. No, this is fine. This is fine. So I can get Ugin. Exile the Lily. Then every turn for the rest of the game, I can 0 Ugin to get rid of the zombies from Lily Last Hope. Holy shit, we're still in this. We're still in this. Okay. Okay. Do I want to 0? Or do I just want to plus? I think I can just plus with no problems this turn. Oh, plus Nugga Zombie. Yeah, that's fine. Because that puts me at parity. What am I green sunning for? Sigarda. Jeez. That's really good. Um, What a game. Like, for anyone who just, like, craps on Nick Fit for not having any game, like, I'm beating 2 Lilianas and that, like, crazy emblem. That's so insane. I don't even know what my opponent is looking for. Because I just, like, ultimate Elspeth and then crash in. And the game is over. Alright. So everything is attacking there. So I'll just do the appropriate jumps. Alright, so if I ultimate, that's 2, 4, 6, or no, they'd be 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, more than enough. Oh man. This is so much fun, chat. I love this deck. I just want to take a minute to appreciate the silly things that I've done with this deck. We beat a Liliana emblem. My opponent had 2 Lilianas that game. I got to triple Cabal Therapy one of my opponents, ramping out to like 7 mana on turn 2. This deck does some cool stuff. I'm really glad that this is like viable again. Yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I'm gonna have to make sure to post the video of this this league to the NickFit Discord. I think they'll enjoy it. All right. Sure, I can do that. I'm gonna. Is Thoughtseize into Cabal Therapy good enough to find me, to buy enough time for me to play this Sigarda and try to win the game with it? I will need a green source in order to do so. This is already a Multi 6. So is this a better 6-card hand than what I could get with a Scry? I think this is a very close hand. So I like guaranteed hit their 2 most critical cards, and I can potentially disrupt their hand a lot, but I might just like flop around and die. I want to keep and hope my opponent's on combo. They are on Eldrazi. This This is going to be a lot of pressure. I'm going to lose this one. Alright, so eyes out, mimics out. Alright, luckily opponent's hand is a little weak. So I'll take 3 this turn, followed by 6 the following turns. Oh man, they draw thought. Okay, good. Oh, they needed to play the colorless for Matter Reshaper because... Oh, jeez. So Arkin, my opponent didn't play the Endless one on turn 1 because they wanted to play it on turn 2 to crash in for 4 with Mimic. And I get that. Alright, I'm going to concede. My opponent might be a little confused about what I'm on. They might think I'm on some sort of like Dead Guy Ill deck or something. Alright. So I probably want these 4 cards. Yes. Clearly I'm playing D&T with a splash for discard. That's what's happening. Alright, so what don't I want? I'll probably decrease the number of 1-drops I'm playing to decrease the power of Chalice. And then I can cut Ugin and call that good. Everything else seems fine. Well, this hand is great. So I'll play Cabal Therapy on 1, named Chalice of the Void. Then turn 2, I'll go Veteran Explorer into Cabal Therapy. Derp. I don't really know why my opponent kept that hand. That hand's not particularly good. I get a Forest as my second one.
Alright, how does this card work? Cast from exile. Do I want to them to have the Matter Reshaper or the Scourge? They can have the Scourge, and I'll just like Liliana that forever. That's hilarious. I'll get Matter Reshaper. Actually, maybe I'm supposed to take the Scourge because I can just source the Plowshare as the other one. Nah. Because they'll probably use their Spirit Guide to play the Eternal Scourge, and then I'll play Liliana, so I'll get like value off of that. Sort of like in retrospect, I also didn't have white mana, so the other plan was not good. That was a great draw. God, what? So that felt disgusting, but it really felt good because I think my opponent just kept a poor hand. Like, I don't really know if just like a couple of Mimics and an Eternal Scourge is worth. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This hand's awkward. So I have a turn 2 Green Sun for a Veteran Explorer and a Decay that I can't cast, but like the Green Sun's so good that it's probably worth keeping. Like, this is also a hand that doesn't just, like, fold the Chalice on one, which is nice. Because that's what's happening. Just gonna play Plains and pass. I don't want to expose myself to Wasteland, which means either playing Plains or Verdant first. Rewarded. If I don't see a Thought-Knot Seer this turn, I feel like this game is pretty much over. Come on, attack. Attack. No attack. So I'm going to Green Sun for 1 again. I'm just thinking about what land I want to throw away. Because my opponent, I think, is probably very likely to waste me. So I think I want to throw away the Cavern. That way I can have Bayou over the next 2 turns to play Lily Last Hope. And I'm also going to attack in with the Veteran Explorer this turn. And then get a second. I also want to cast the Green Sun when I can, when Warping Whale isn't up. Okay. Tumble Magnet means you can get an attack in. That's fine. It also means that I just get to resolve Arena Rector right now, which is insane. I don't even think I want to push damage here. I think I'm just going to hold all 3 of these back in case of, like, second Tumble Magnet or Reality Smasher or something. Oh, man. Did I call it or what? Is this the Tumble Magnet tap a guy? Change your mind? Nope. Alright. So, in case I draw Elspeth, I really want to have my second Plains. I could just get Forest Swamp right here in order to cast Abrupt Decay this turn, but I don't really need to Abrupt Decay anything that's there. So I think I'm just going to get Plains and Swamp. Well, I'm going to get an Elspeth this turn. So that's great. So I guess I can attack first. I can do my 2 points of damage.
can do my 2 points of damage, play Bayou, plus Lily here, create 3 soldier tokens, chump block with 1. Yeah. A fairy would suck right here, but I don't think my opponent would have brought that in. No, I don't think I need to get rid of that Chalice. And I think I want to save the Witness for in case something goes wrong. I don't think I need to play that here. Yeah, so I can cast the Ewit, but I'd just be getting a land or a Veteran Explorer back. And I'd rather just save it to get back one of my Planeswalkers if they somehow deal with one. Alright, that was a very easy 4-1. Relatively close to a 5-0 as well. Like, we lost that one to Rug Delver only because I didn't... Like, I kept a hand that didn't have a green source, hoping to draw it out, and I lost that game, and then I think I stumbled on mana in game 3 as well. Or something like that. But this deck legitimately felt very good. I was doing powerful things. It felt pretty consistent. I was very happy playing this deck. What a stream. That was a really fun one. I enjoyed that a lot. So let's talk about this build for a minute. Did I move everything? Oh no, they're all right here. I enjoyed this a lot. I legitimately think this deck was good. I did some broken and powerful things. The graveyard synergies that this deck have been unlocked with Deathrite Shaman gone. The power of Ugin was really showcased against the Liliana emblem. That was so cool. I 100% like this better than the Sneak Fit build. We're gonna delete that one. I don't think I want to play that again. If I play more Nick Fit, it will be with this build again. I enjoyed this a ton. So, I hope you all will join me for the Legacy Premier League tonight. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be on Julian's channel. If you don't know what that is, it is below the stream here. I believe tonight's players are Manguchi, Noah Walker, Pleasant Kenobi, and one other who I'm blanking on. But it should be a lot of fun. I'm not commentating tonight, I don't think. I think I'm just going to be hanging out and moderating. But it should be an absolute blast. It will be some of the highest level Legacy play you've probably seen in a long time. And you'll get to see what people are really going and doing with their deck lists in a new format. And I hope you'll come and enjoy. Yes, Nick. Yes, Rudy. Rudy is the last one. Thank you. This deck list is one that I got from the Nick Fit Discord. It was quite good, and I'll make sure I post the videos there later today.
Haystar, I am comfortable saying yes. I will be playing Brightling D&T in the Legacy Premier League. However, it is a different list from what I have ever played on stream. It's the one currently labeled Secret Tech right here. There's quite a few card differences that I think are very, very good, but I'm not comfortable revealing those until next Wednesday. All the deck lists have been submitted. I don't know that they have gone live on the website yet. They will be revealed later tonight at some point. I'm not 100% sure about whether or not, like, how soon I'm going to share this deck list, because it's very good. It's very, very good. So it's 2 weeks until I'm playing in my portion of it. I don't know whether or not I'll stream Brightling D&T before then. I probably will. And I'll probably just say, like, all right, the heck with it. This is what I'm testing. But I'm going to hold off on sharing that information for a little while longer. So let's talk about what's going on my channel. So I have 2 more donation decks that I need to do. I need to do the 2 blue-white Stoneblade streams that someone donated for. So those are still in my queue. And I owe a different and I owe another donor a Brightling stream. So those are the next 3 things that are on the slate. So maybe I will give up and just, like, show off my Secret Tech deck list. It's really good. And just give away some marginal information for the Legacy Premier League. That's probably fine. Whatever. They know I'm playing D&T. I do one thing. I do have some other things I want to test, though. More generally, I do want to play some Stompy decks of some nature. I think they're pretty well positioned right now, so I might try out, like, some Eldrazi or some Red Prison or something like that, just to kind of get a feel for how those decks are doing right now. That's one thing I want to play. And I also probably want to play some matches with Sneak and Show to see how Arcane Artisan feels, to just get a better idea of, like, how that card works in practice, so that I can understand how to beat it as D&T. So those are things that I'm currently thinking about, but that may change. If you like Tom Ross, post the whole deck list the day before the event. Yeah, I do love that about Tom. He's cool. He's pretty quiet. He doesn't say a lot, but, like, every time he talks, it's just straight fire. So my favorite Tom Ross story is from a local IQ. So the top 4 is, like, me, Tom Ross, and I think it was 2 randoms. And one of the randoms was like, "Hey, do you guys want to split?" And Tom, rather than just saying no, just starts going, "Battle, battle, 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 battle," and sits down. That was my favorite Tom Ross interaction. He's pretty cool. So Kez, the Legacy Premier League starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So go ahead and convert that into your time zone. The stream is just wrapping up. Alright, so my name's Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, a legacy site for death and taxes. I'm also involved with the Legacy Premier League. You can find the link to that below the stream. If you enjoy my content, please follow. We're getting close to a Soldier Stompy stream. And if you're really enjoying what I'm doing for the Legacy community, consider subscribing to my channel or doing a donation deck list to make me play one of your cool decks. Cheers, folks. I'm going to get some lunch, and I hope to see many of you in the chat tonight for the Legacy Premier League.